Well, what's up, guys? Welcome to this week's video. It's a little different than normal. We're going to be working on my truck. It's got well over 200,000 miles. It's got the typical, what they call the Hemi tick, which is, you know, can get so severe. You're talking lifters going out and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, it's got lifters tapping. It's burning a lot of oil, and I don't think the guy who had it before me took very good care of it. Just kind of assuming here, judging by some other stuff that I found. But anyway, in here I have my brand new remanufactured engine from Powertrain. So I looked at Jasper, I looked at Powertrain, I went back and forth between the two. The prices were very similar. I just ended up going with these guys. They had a 5-year warranty. Jasper was a 3. So there was just some things that I saw as far as the process. So they seem to be pretty similar on how they remanufacture. There's a difference between a remanufactured engine and a rebuild engine. Remanufactured, they're going in and they're changing known problems. So they're changing lifters. They open up oil passageways where more oil can flow. They do better head gaskets, better lifters, better pistons, just a lot of stuff that they improve on. So it's not just a rebuild and slap it back together. They actually go back in and re-engineer things that should have been done the first time. So my truck is a good truck. I like everything else about it. The truck prices nowadays are through the roof expensive. So this one, to the door, before, now this is core charge, took off, which is like $600 something, but tax and all was like $4,600 for a brand new remanufactured engine. So we're gonna get this thing unboxed, opened up, picked up and put onto an engine stand, and then we'll get the truck pulled in. And over the course of the next few days this week, I'm going to be swapping motors out of my truck. So here's what we got. Well, not brand new, but brand new 5.7 Hemi. (2009). Now in 2009 they swapped heads. So any Hemi that you have is going to be, you've got the pre-09s and you've got everything after 09. 09, they changed heads to what's known as the Eagle head. Before 09, they had issues with valve seats dropping out and obviously falling down into the cylinder. Piston beats it all up. It gets sucked up into the intake, and then it spreads all that debris throughout the motor, causing a lot of engine failures. They fixed that in 09 with a better head, had more horsepower, more efficiency. But they've always had kind of that oiling issue with oil being able to move around, and just, from what I can tell, just bad lifters. So supposedly all that stuff is going to be corrected. So we'll get the engine lift over here, get this thing picked up and put onto a stand. highly considering painting this thing orange. I'm not going to. That's just more time and money that I don't really have. Just gonna leave it like it is. So yeah, there she is. Everything looks good. Super clean, nice. Powertrain Products is, I think a minute ago I was just calling it Powertrain. That's what I've been calling it, but it's Powertrain Products to be specific as to the company that I bought this from. So when I ordered it, they told me about a 8 to 10 week waiting period. So I wasn't in a hurry. I was just like, okay, that's fine, you know, and was just going to keep driving my truck because my motor still runs. It's just burning a lot of oil. I got a couple of lifters tapping, and so we knew this was coming. It was inevitable, so we were just going to go ahead and get it coming. And well, they called me a couple of days ago and were like, hey, warehouse just called. They got your motor. It's done. It's ready. It's heading your way. So 2 days later, here it is. So kind of had to scratch my plans next week because I got to do that, get this in, and you got 15 days to get my core sent back in. So starting Monday, I think Dan's going to come help me. We're going to get the motor started pulling out, but for right now, it's on the stand. I'm going to get it bagged back up and moved over to the side. I'm going to get the truck rolled in and just kind of get everything ready to start on this Monday. All right, we're here. We're finna get started. It's today I'm just gonna focus on getting the bumper off, the grill, the radiator, the core support, headlights, all that stuff to come out so that we have plenty of room to be able to get in here and do everything we gotta do comfortably. It don't take that long to pull all this stuff off. So I've already got the top little cover popped off. We're just gonna undo these bolts here along the line. Like I said, get all this off, and then tomorrow, I'm gonna try to get the motor out. I do have a stick holding my hood up because as of last week, my hood supports decided to check out on me. So I got new struts ordered. I just got back from O'Reilly's, got new struts, got plugs, got everything ordered that I'm gonna need. This motor does not come with a oil pickup tube. It came with a new oil pump there. New Maylene oil pump, but doesn't come with a pickup tube. So I had to get a pickup tube. Just so you know, I don't know what Jasper's deal is, but Powertrain Products, it comes with an oil pump, but it does not come with a pickup tube. And it's got a sticker right here on top. Let's see. Right here. Oil pickup is not included. So that's cool. It's like 55 bucks for a Maylene oil pickup tube at O'Reilly's. But anyway, got all that, and yes, I'm going to O'Reilly's, my local neighborhood car quest that I used to do everything from, that I've bragged about so many times. They closed their doors, so I've transitioned over to O'Reilly's. And those guys seem pretty cool, man. They're helping me out a lot on stuff. So anyway, we're gonna set up here, and I don't know how much filming I'll do today, but we're gonna get everything pulled off the front so that tomorrow we can get ready to pluck the engine out. All right, guys, you can see yesterday I made pretty good progress getting the whole front of the truck off. Got the bumpers, the grill, headlights, radiator. Got the radiator out there, got bumper and core support and all that stuff over there. Got more stuff back there on the table. Just kind of getting it out makes it easier. None of it's been too bad. Just the process. It's just the process you go to. So didn't film much yesterday because I was just working, and I was referring to my phone for information on certain things, how to get this off and this off, because I've never dove this far into a 4th gen Ram before. So I was on my phone using it for a flashlight like we all do, and looking for information. So I didn't film that much yesterday, but I'm down to right now getting ready to pull the intake and then get the harmonic balancer off, and then get the exhaust unhooked, transmission unhooked, and then I want to say after that we're pretty much ready to pluck this thing out. So I'm waiting on Daniel. He's going to get here after lunch and kind of be here just to lend a hand as we walk this thing out. I didn't unhook any of my AC lines or anything like that, so everything should stay charged. Found a good video. I'll put links at the bottom of this to some of the videos that I've referred to that they already have good information. They've already done the videos, so you know, I'll just revert you back to those guys. And they were helpful on me doing this. So went to town to the Dodge place to get a new water pump. Mine was fine, but while I'm here, I was just gonna go ahead and replace it. They didn't have any, couldn't get one, but I did find one online, so I got that ordered. Unfortunately, while I was in there, Nickelback was playing over the speakers. And if you know anything about Nickelback, if you hear it once, it's stuck in your head. So now I'm singing Rockstar. So that's how my day's going. But anyway, so I'm gonna keep plucking away at this thing, get this intake off. May film some of that, and we'll just keep chipping away at all of this stuff and get this thing out. So we're getting ready to kind of degrease and everything. Just wanted to show you this, the depth. That's not metal, that's just sludge. See how deep it is? Ugh. But you know, this truck came from a farmer in the Delta. You can see the silt. See inside the frame, the silt. I've had this truck for almost 3 years, and I have washed silt out of every nook and cranny. And I always had a suspicion, very likely there's some inside of that motor. Because you can see the back of the block here, just, it's a real fine powder. But not sure how much of that played into the motor going bad, but it certainly didn't help things. All right, so we are cleaning up valve covers. We've got the oil pan over there cleaned up. We've got the intake soaking outside. Putting these little guys in. These are my old ones that go underneath in here. And I had a few little oil leaks, and you can kind of see why. They were a little dry. You can see these just busted, just pulling them out, versus the new ones that are super flexible. So anyway, putting them in. Gonna try to get the valve covers on, spark plugs in. I'm still waiting on the pickup tube to come in, so I can't put the oil pan on just yet. So waiting on that. Water pump will be here tomorrow though. Pickup tube will be here tomorrow. So we're just gonna kind of today just be getting cleaned up, cleaning up parts and putting on what we can put on, cleaning up around the truck, just trying to keep things where it's easier to work. All right, guys, we are on day 3 of putting a new engine in the truck. We have the block here just about finished up. The pickup tube came in today, so I get that bolted underneath. Put the windage tray on, slap the oil pan on, and this thing's ready to go back in the truck. Water pump will be here. Thought it was going to be today. They changed my delivery date to tomorrow, but that's fine. We don't have to have the water pump to put it in. So the goal today, get this stuff buttoned up and get the thing stabbed, but the new engine stabbed back into the truck, get it at least transmission hooked up, motor mounts hooked up, and exhaust hooked back up. If we can get all that done by the end of the day today, I'll be very, very happy, because that's all the hard, challenging stuff. Everything else from there on is just kind of plug and play. But if we can get to at least that point today, I'll be happy. The intake is pretty much dried out. It turned out really, really good. I don't know how well you guys can see up in there, but it's nice and smooth, good and clean. Just after soaking a few hours yesterday, it's hard to tell, but it's good and clean. I was able to shine a light and see up in there, and all was well. Now, most of these remanufactured places, Jasper, Powertrain Products, all the ones when I was shopping, they all recommend to change the intake. Main reason being because if you've had engine failure, metal gets sucked up into the intake, and because they are plastic, those pieces of metal have a tendency to come in there hot, embed into the side of the intake, and then at some point can let go. Or, you know, the earlier Gen 3 Hemis, 09 and older, 06 to 09, 08, I think it is, they have a tendency with valve seats dropping out. And I've read a bunch of reports of guys who take their intake off and pieces of valve seat constantly falling out. So, and if you've had engine failure, get a new intake. They're like $500 something. The reason I didn't, because I have not had engine failure. There's never been metal in my oil, never been metal in the oil filters. When I drained this oil out, I mean, other than just being black and dirty, it's fine. There was no metallic in it. At no point in any of this have I found any metal shavings or any metallic, anything like that. The motor run good. Basically, what I had the most of is just build up and sludge and just, you know, that. So I just was like, I can do a good cleaning on it. We scrubbed it inside and out, soaked it, and I feel good about it. I didn't see anything in there. So it wasn't me trying to be cheap or save money. It was just the fact that I have not had engine failure, and so I didn't really see the need in it. So intake cleaned up good. We are going to get everything bolted back up, get this thing on the engine lift, get the little shim, get the flywheel bolted on. One time I was doing a 4.7 in a buddy of mine's Ram for him, and we got everything bolted up and realized we forgot to put this back in and had to separate engine oil. It was one of those things where you're just like, when you see it laying on the table, your heart just drops, and it's like, oh man. So we're not gonna make that mistake today. Here's the old Hemi. So this one is gonna go back into that crate today. I've already emailed them to come pick up the core, so they're gonna be coming and picking that up. All right, guys, well, she's back in. Intake's bolted up. I mean, everything everything is hooked up. Exhaust is hooked up. Transmission's fully hooked up. Everything's tightened down. Just waiting on the water pump. If I'd had a water pump today, we could have probably finished it off and fired it up. But that's supposed to be here tomorrow, and it's coming FedEx, and out here, that could mean first thing in the morning or tomorrow at dark, so who knows. So anyway, we're kind of at a standstill till the water pump gets in. Once the water pump comes in, we can finish the whole front. I can torque the whole timing cover down and all that kind of stuff, but I can't really do that till the water pump's on, and I don't want to put no accessories on there and all that kind of junk. That don't really take that long anyway. So we're here, but it was really not bad at all, man. All new gasket kit. What I love about late model engines like these, I mean, I'm kind of an old school car guy, but these late model engines, man, with the O-ring gaskets and stuff like that, they're just so easy, really, really easy to work on. The wiring can be intimidating if you don't really understand or if ever fool with it, but these harnesses are, man, you put them back where you had them and they just fit, everything plugs right up. It's really almost impossible to get it mixed up and confused. I guess you could, but every plug is different and the harnesses are made so well. It's not really that complicated. If you look at it like this, it just looks like a cluster bomb goes off, but just one piece at a time. All right, well, our missing piece finally just arrived. Genuine Mopar product. Got us a new water pump here. Comes with temp sensor already in it. Pulley, I mean, you can get all these little things separate, but this kind of comes with the whole shebang. So I was kind of bummed out. My blow-by was so bad that, you know, your intake feeds over to your air box, and I would always have oil on top of my filter because that's how bad the blow-by was in this motor. And I've had a K&N filter in here just about since I got the truck, probably 3 years ago. And got out today, was going to clean it, and was like, man, what are these black spots in there? You know, and I looked, and there were holes. I guess the motor oil had just deteriorated the fabric, and it was just big gaping holes in the filter. So ditched that, went and got just a good old Fram for right now. So we'll run that. Went and got my oil for break-in. We're going to run, this was the only conventional oil in 5W20 that I could find. Now, long-term, I will run Pennzoil, the Platinum Full Synthetic 5W20 is what I had run before. It's what I will run in this one from here on out. But for break-in, you don't really want to use a synthetic oil for breaking in an engine. You want the rings and all that stuff to get a little, they need lubrication, but they do need to break in some and have a little bit of wear for everything to get seated and set where it should be. So I like to just run just a general conventional oil, and went all over town. This was the only 520 conventional oil I could find. I couldn't find any Fram. I've never run Fram oil before, but it's all SAE certified, so it's got to meet the standard. So we're only going to run that for 500 to 1,000 miles, and we're going to change it out for the Platinum anyway. So we're going to get this guy bolted on. I've got my catch can back on, throttle body cleaned and put back on. So now I've just kind of been piddling with that stuff all day today. Just cleaning, core support, radiator stuff, just kind of washing it, cleaning it up. And so I'm going to get the water pump bolted on. And tomorrow morning, I think Dan's going to come back and we're going to finish buttoning everything up and fire this thing up. All right, so I got a new water pump. Obviously, this is the old one. Couldn't get the clutch off. You can tell in the past where somebody had, but I beat on this thing and beat on it. These are a pain in the rear to get off. So since I got a new clutch, this clutch was wore out anyway. It had a lot of slack and wobble in it. The bearings were gone. Just took a Sawzall to it so I can get the fan off. All right, I figured one reason why I couldn't get the original one off, and you can probably guess too, they're reverse threads. Now, I researched, everybody's like, nope, they're right-hand threads, just like everything else. I hit it a couple of times backwards. I always do and stuff like that, just to make sure nothing came loose. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it was junk anyway, but if you're trying to take one off of an '09 at least, I don't know what all years are, but that sucker sure just thread on there backwards. So heads up. Now I'm gonna have to get Andrew out here. We're gonna set the radiator back in, hook our coolant hoses up, throw some water in it, and we're about ready to fire this thing up. Like a sewing machine. All right, well, that's the old motor in the crate, loaded up in the back of the truck. I've put about 25, 30 miles on the motor so far, just running here in town and stuff like that. So far, man, love it. It's a stark contrast from what it was. It's so odd pulling up for red lights and not hearing ticking and the truck vibrating because it has such a rough idle. It's super quiet. Been a few times where I've even thought the truck had died on me. It was so quiet and smooth, but it's running really, really good. We're gonna run this oil somewhere between 500 and 1,000 miles. I'm just gonna keep an eye on it and see, kind of change it. You know, I've got the oil for the next change, so we'll just change it somewhere in between there. But it's all back together. Everything is good, man. So anyway, Powertrain Products is where I got this from. 5-year warranty. They're super easy to deal with. Matter of fact, I'm waiting right now for a phone call from the freight company. I'm gonna run back out there to town. They're gonna scoop this thing up, give me a tracking number, and I'll email that tracking number to Powertrain, and I'm done. I'll be finished, you know. So that's gonna wrap this video up, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching us. I know I didn't film much, I know. We were just working. We were just trying to get this done. I wanted to get that done last week. I didn't want to drag it out. So didn't really take a lot of time to film like I really wanted to, but you got to see some of it at least. So anyway, guys, thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next week.